Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Courtney Lawless. Courtney Lawless is a venture capitalist and angel investor who currently serves as a co-host on the Amazon Prime series Wolfpack, premiering January 2021, where she works with startups to help them accelerate their growth and actualize their potential. She is also deeply connected in tech, co-owning and managing a Boston-based software and app development firm, Moxie Hub. With over 18 years of experience, Courtney has helped countless founders and has raised over $5 billion in capital commitments. Well, good afternoon, Courtney. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian.
Awesome. I'm glad you could
Excited.
jump on. Yeah, no, I'm really excited because this is what's really cool is to have somebody on today, and we're going to get into that. That's obviously involved in tech. You know, a lot of my guests I interview, but the fact that you have your own show coming up, essentially, right? So let's jump right into the questions. Courtney, you have quite the career as an entrepreneur, investor, partner, and currently the chief operating officer of your tech firm, Moxie Hub. But now being a co-host on your show called Wolfpack, could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Absolutely. So, I think you have your traditional answers to career growth, but I don't think there's one secret, right? It's not just work ethic or perseverance, but I actually think it's the ability to view the world through the lens of the people that we serve, our customers. So by understanding them, I feel like it gives you the ability to serve them in a better capacity. So the growth is really the ability not to see the world as what you're selling, but to see a solution for the end user. Otherwise, I feel like you're missing the mark and you're going to either do the same thing or do something that's completely irrelevant. So taking that back to growth, that ability to view the world in a different way is invaluable, whether it's your company or you're within an organization, to be mindful of who you're serving. And then as far as inspiration, I have so much inspiration in my life, not only from within, but outside of myself. And, I think it mainly comes from the people that I surround myself with. I am so fortunate that I have an amazing business partner that truly challenges and encourages me in every way possible to be my absolute best, and really just refuses to accept anything short of me realizing my full potential day in, day out, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it.
That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. Your perspective is always unique and great for our audience to take in those tidbits. So Courtney, I'm going to jump into this one. This one's really exciting. So just tell us a little bit more about your role as co-host on the new Amazon Prime series, Wolfpack, which premieres this month, January 2021.
It does. So January 12th, very excited about it and very lucky to have been a part of something so cool. So really, Wolfpack is 5 investors. I'm one of the investors, all with different backgrounds, coming together collectively with different skill sets and capital to help startups. So the show really gets into what it really takes to help a startup and how we get from not only putting dollars in, but also the resources that it takes to help them become successful. And you'll see ones that we've invested in and ones that we haven't, and what we've done for them. But what really got me about this show is the giving back to the community and the charitable piece. So each one of the wolves, including myself, has a charity that we support and strongly stand behind. And then each one of the companies, even though they're startups, are still focused on giving back. So I think it's really cool to see, even in startup mode, they're concerned about the community and giving back. And there's really something to that. We learn about these different charities and their passions and how they're incorporating that into their business.
I think that's awesome. And like I said, I can't wait to watch that series. So I appreciate that. And Courtney, as you know, I focus on technology. I'm a technologist, chief technology officer. Are you leveraging any new or emerging technologies in your space? And if not, maybe it's a cool app that you're using you can share with our audience.
I'm happy you asked that question. As most techies know, we live in a digitally transforming world and we're becoming more and more dependent on technology in our everyday lives. I think we've rapidly adapted to this integration and even the subtle innovations that have changed our lives forever. When you think of Ubers instead of taxi, Netflix instead of Blockbuster, how we've adapted to our smartphones, which really leads me to answering your question, which is, kind of what's the next few years going to look like? And for us at Moxie Hub, we're highly committed to the future of tech and how it integrates into our lives. And to do that, we've built out an emerging technologies team that's heavily focused on hyper automation. So hyper automation really is the parent of artificial intelligence, machine learning, pattern recognition, and sophisticated data analytics. And really, it's our view that this hyper automation and removing these manual friction points is where tech is going and where this trend will be going in the next few years.
That's awesome. That really is. Basically, your company's aligned the same way, our company is as far as emerging tech. So I appreciate the share. And Courtney, last question. Everybody wants to know a little bit more about Courtney Lawless. So can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in leadership or entrepreneurship?
I can. So, as an investor, an entrepreneur, an advisor, I've worked with countless leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, etc. And I really think that the common thread among any great leader that I've ever worked with is that the best are the ones that know they're serving the employees. So, this really servant leadership is what we're talking about, and the service to the mission. So I think the best leaders really know that it's not flowing up to the top, but it's actually the inverse. These leaders and entrepreneurs, wake up every day and think, what can I do more to serve everyone? And they really understand that it's not so much their title that makes them great, it's their abilities to serve others that actually makes them relevant.
I think that's awesome, sharing that perspective. And you and I both know leadership is absolutely, sacrificing a lot. It's not just someone sitting there and being the boss, so to speak, right? It's somebody that has to serve. So I appreciate the thoughts on that. The nuggets will be certainly great for our audience. And Courtney, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thank you so much. It was so great to be on.
Bye for now.